Now, yesterday we talked to a World Bank whistleblower, Karen Hughes, and she was concerned not only about corruption at the World Bank, but about the reaction of the U.S. government and how that undermined our credibility and the ability of the U.S. dollar to continue as a reserve currency. And remember that just a couple of months ago, there was a very good article called "Is the Dollar Dying? Why U.S. Currency is in Danger." This is an older article from CNBC. Basically, that article said the U.S. dollar is shrinking as a percentage of the world's currency supply, raising concerns that the greenback is about to see its long run as the world's premier denomination come to an end. Generally speaking, it is not believed by the vast majority that the American dollar will be overthrown, said Dick Bove, Vice President of Equity Research at Rafferty Capital Markets. He said, but it will be overthrown, and this defrocking may occur in as short a period as 5 to 10 years. And he also has this warning. If the dollar loses its status as the world's most reliable currency, the United States will lose the right to print money to pay its debt. It will be forced to pay this debt. That is going to be a severe consequence for us. And yet, as Karen Hughes pointed out yesterday in her whistleblowing interview, the kind of corruption that they're covering up, she exposed corruption at the World Bank, and as a result, she was fired. Many countries wanted to know what was going on, but agency after agency with the federal government basically blocked any inquiries and covered this up. And this all goes back to countries that are getting concerned about the full faith and credit of the fiat currency that we basically created here by central banks. And as she pointed out, it's privately owned central banks who are organizing and changing us into debt slaves through incurring sovereign debt. We see this happening in a story that's just breaking today out of Japan. InfoWars, via the economic collapse, is reporting the Japanese financial system is beginning to spin wildly out of control. The financial system of the third largest economy on the planet is starting to come apart at the seams, and the ripple effects are going to be felt all over the globe. The Japanese economy has been in a slump for over a decade. Japan has a debt-to-GDP ratio of well over 200%, and they're spending about 50% of all tax revenue on debt service. In a desperate attempt to revitalize the economy and reduce the debt burden, the Bank of Japan decided a few months ago to start pumping massive amounts of money into the economy. Now, what's happened is, the reason this is a story is, at the end of last week, on Thursday, the Nikkei index plunged 7.3%, and it was the largest single-day decline in more than 2 years. And then on Monday, it fell another 3.2%, and since then it's basically flatlined at about that level. So a lot of people are very concerned about this. You know, Keynesian economics of printing money and creating debt and saying that debt that we owe to ourselves really doesn't matter. I mean, that is obviously to everybody one of the biggest lies that was ever told. That is the essence of Keynesian economics. Keynesian economics is unable to explain the past. They never had a good explanation for the Great Depression, and they're unable to control the future as they claim to. But what it does do is it provides a rationale for the private central banks to enslave all the world into a mountain of debt that they have created.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.